Hello everyone! Right now there is just a blossoming drama when it comes to Kaceytron and H3H3, and of course this also has a lot of proxy people such as Frogan, Hassan, iDubbbz, and well, just a lot of people, even Asmongold himself kind of self-inserted into this one, and kind of rightfully so, because Kaceytron is getting called out by pretty much every single facet of the internet, and I have to be fully honest, I think I might agree. Kaceytron right now is under huge fire because she is in this huge lawsuit with H3H3. Basically what happened, for the summarize that to catch you guys up, is H3H3 is suing multiple content creators such as Frogan, such as Kaceytron, because they were just telling people not to watch his content, were reacting to it on like the stream, but the big picture was they were watching it on their stream, basically providing no commentary, which is kind of gray zone as is. But the biggest thing is that they did not like H3H3, and they were telling and encouraging their own community to not watch his own content on his YouTube or his podcast, or engage with like sponsors, all of that. And I'm sure if you guys know anything about content creation, all of that together leads towards, well, growth. You get watch time from people watching your videos, clicking on your videos, click-through rate. Or as well, if you have a sponsor, obviously more money gets paid to the sponsor. More views you get, it's kind of almost like a compounding situation. The more views you get, the more money you get, the more the videos get spread out, etc. And the whole idea behind that was that Kaceytron and other content creators were encouraging other people to not support H3H3, to not watch their content, and instead watch on their channel. And now that has blossomed into this even crazier drama these last few days, to the point where I feel like it's worth making a video on, because I myself, and I gotta be honest, I usually try to be pretty neutral on this one, and if you guys ever disagree in the comment section, you know, that's the whole point. I never mind if you guys like don't always agree with what I have to say. But I think a lot of people online are kind of against Kaceytron because she's trying to play him as a victim, trying to settle lawsuits for almost no reason, and I just think right now H3H3 is in the right. So why not make a YouTube video about it, because I got the spare time, and let's go talk about this whole stuff. So subscribe if you guys are new, or leave a like and your thoughts down below, and I'll try to catch you guys up on this huge drama with Asmongold, H3, and Kaceytron, and all of them. Sorry for longer intro. So if you guys don't know the OG Kaceytron, people actually used to both respect her and kind of were curious on her, I guess, skit. So this is from many years ago. Kaceytron used to be known as, like, you know, League of Legends trolls, where she got her start. You can kind of see this is like old school Twitch. It's almost giving me nostalgia based in this whole League of Legends clip itself. 0-7, playing ranked games, ruining games for people, and even at the time, a lot of people did not like it. Now this is obviously a bit, and obviously like a skit at the time. She, you know, has very strange looking logos if you recognize it from back in the day, and even old school League of Legends she would do, or old school Twitch, she'd probably make her webcam even bigger, which used to be against the rules, and just people weren't happy. Like, she was 0-7-0 in this league game with 39 farm, 21 minutes in, she was trolling old school like League of Legends games. It was just not a vibe. People weren't a fan of it, they didn't appreciate it, and some people thought it was funny at the time, which, you know, do whatever you want to do. But she was just mean, you know, it was just weird troller at the time. But that personality was somewhat okay, but it's kind of evolved into more of like a weird grifter, mostly online, and that's where people have a lot of problems, because it's gotten bad. She basically was kind of a part of the Hassan circle, where, once again, like Frogan and others are all getting sued at the same time, because they were just attacking H3H3 nonstop. Now, I will go and say you can get a lot of easy views or impressions, content, money even, if you just go and kind of farm. Like, you want to farm drama, I'm doing that right now. You want to go and farm clout, tweet, even the tweet I made yesterday about the Cha-Cha Chilla situation, some VTubing situation, you guys can check out that video from yesterday if you guys want. It got like tens of thousands of views, more than I usually would, because people like drama. That's why I'm making this YouTube account. Like, that's why I like hanging out here, because I kind of like being a little gossip. But sometimes the gossip can go too far. And this is all kind of intertwined too. So Kaceytron right now is being sued by H3H3. H3H3 is well off, millionaire, kind of has the money to blow on this. You know, he can afford lawyers, like he can just do this. And Kaceytron does get some sympathy from him. I don't want to be cold-hearted, because she said on her own stream that she has to take care of her family, she has a lot of bills, obviously, and while she does get a lot of impressions and viewership and probably makes more money than me, at the same exact time, it is like she has to be accountable. Like, she's not being held fully accountable in the whole situation. And that's a lot of big issues over here. So this is kind of like, I think, a good case in point, where the last 2 days, Asmongold went to go and find and see on how many tweets that Kaceytron has made against Asmongold. It's a lot. It is literally a lot. It was nonstop scrolling. And this is kind of the idea that people are like, hey, like you can critique people, you can call people out, but at a certain point, you are kind of grifting and harassing people. And this is kind of the same idea of what they were doing for H3H3 or other content creators, and why people are actually supporting this whole entire case as of now against Kaceytron. Because there's a lot of stuff. There is a lot of crazy comments over throughout all of these two. There is a lot. There is a lot. They were calling them like a fascist, calling them a transphobe, making fun of them. Like a big thing Asmongold has is that Kaceytron at the time apparently was making fun of his dead mother and blaming him too as well. Asmongold is a fascist who is now using this whole fiasco that was quite literally cutie forcing her centrist ideology and LGBTQ people to say it was the opposite. Like, even if she has a point, and sometimes Asmongold has bad takes. I don't want to blindly support the guy. I don't always agree with him. But it's one of those things where it just goes nonstop. Like, it's just nonstop. Asmongold. It's just nonstop. And she's also trying to go and have all this, like, victim mentality. Asmongold is rallying the troops against me. You know? It's just nonstop, calling everyone incels, making fun of everyone. And like I said, there is definitely things you can critique on here. But this is mental illness. These are all tweets in regards to Asmongold being quoted over here from Kaceytron, and it just keeps going. It's just nonstop. You can see, and this is that was like the funny of it all. And this is where H3H3 is also chiming on in. So as I mentioned, for H3H3, he is suing a few content creators such as Frogan, Kaceytron, etc., because they were on their streams with viewers telling people to not watch and support his content. And basically using, like, reaction stuff's a little bit of a gray ground itself, but basically having a copyright claim for her hosting his own content and encouraging people not to support it. That is the main argument point for when it comes to the lawsuit itself. That's the big thing. That's the big thing right there. So yeah, I think that's kind of rough. Like, basically the content holder did not want her to go and, well, deal with it. And a lot of people are not okay with this, because it's just stupid. It's just a stupid vibe. She also had like a GoFundMe they all did to try to go raise legal fees against H3H3, where Kaceytron rose around $45,000, and then she was trying to only offer $17,000 for a settlement. So at this point, H3H3 sees this all and he's like, hey man, like, you are not going to be getting a free like $30,000 payday over here from milking your community. That's just not how this would work too as well. And now this is a little bit bad. Like, I do want to say, I do feel a bit bad for Kaceytron, because H3H3 does have the money to kind of draw these all out on like some big legal cases. And as well, Kaceytron is apparently also taking care of her, disabled family. Like, there is stuff out there that I do have a heart for her too as well. But people are calling her out because she's spending so much money on like weed, drugs, and even for stuff like this, where it doesn't seem like she's taking accountability. She's still harassing people such as Asmongold and calling out just creators nonstop. And you are getting attention on this, but there's a certain point where like you can critique people rightfully, and then versus like doing it for like a grifting nonstop harassment campaign. And all the tweets that we just showed from Asmongold are even worse. There's a lot more. The clip that just kept on going, and also with other content creators too as well. So it's just this huge, like, kind of mean person. Like, no offense to Kaceytron, she has a long history of just being a mean person, where she can't even go and respectfully own up and try to like clear out the stuff and like say sorry and move on. Now, there was another big legal update too, and this is why I'm showing it, because she's just going and trying to once again seem like a massive victim. And people are just getting sick of it, because she was the one who put herself in this situation. She was the one that was watching and reacting to all this content and literally telling their community to not support the person that they're watching. That's nuts. Like, that is crazy. And now I understand there's drama and all that stuff, but then just don't interact with them. Like, you can't just mooch off of people's content for free. And then with them, they're trying to complain about how their family is having financial issues, that she's having financial issues from the lawsuit. All right. I mean, I understand, but like, she did it. Like, and that's the problem. And like, you can see the stuff that she did with Asmongold, with Ethan Klein, like, and she can't even offer proper settlement. So now lawyers are obviously getting involved, and I just want to show the first like even minute of this, because this was clearly made and written by a lawyer.
Okay. So first of all, my intention of this statement.
You could already look in her eyes. She's reading off a piece of paper, and she's trying to go at this point kind of butter up, Ethan Klein and H3H3. And she has said some horrible things on these people, like horrible things too as well. Like, not even trying to play sides. I just don't like that she's playing such a big victim, and I don't want people to like I don't know, I guess fall for it. Like, it's gross. Like, you're allowed to have feelings, but you messed up.
Is not to blame Ethan Klein or accuse him of malicious conduct.
And I want to remind everyone, like literally the other day, like we had the Asmongold quote, like we just showed you guys, that she has been harassing people nonstop everywhere. Like there is a big difference between critiquing someone or making a video on it, like kind of what I'm doing, hopefully you guys agree, and like kind of giving your thoughts and then moving on, versus every single day. Like your entire stream is dedicated towards hating on someone or critiquing someone or watching what they're doing. And that's kind of like the weird thing. This is kind of what iDubbbz was doing. iDubbbz right now is somehow getting a lot of actual local attention, because all he does is kind of complain about like H3H3 and how they aren't friends and try to join like Hassan's circle. And it's just cringy because everyone can see through it. Like even Hassan himself saw through it. And Hassan's even catching strays because Hassan's not even helping these people. Hassan has his own like little grouping of orbiters, kind of how even Asmongold does or Destiny does. You know, it's how it is. Every content creator kind of has it. Even think like Logan Paul, he has his friends. Like it's just how it is. You know, you have your little circles or people who kind of align with them or want to get attention. It is what it is. It's how it is online. But people are also calling out Hassan for being a multi-millionaire, and he's not even helping any of these people who are being sued against his big like adversary H3H3, his old ex friend. So people are calling him out.
So please refrain from making any hateful posts about him. If he believes he has a copyright claim,
which I'll be fully honest, from everything I've had a chance to see, it seems like he does. Now, I like reaction content, and I'm not a big fan of people forcing copyright strikes, but a lot of these things are them just like not even really interacting over it, talking over it, giving their opinions, smoking, you know, on top of it as well. And then at the same time, encouraging people not to watch the content. Like that is bad. It is actively hurting someone, and it's weird for them to keep on playing victim. It's a difference between like the weird gray ground of reaction content versus fully just stealing, like watching like a movie. And I think there's been cases and times, allegedly, where Kaceytron has been like watching full-on movies and TV shows and not even being on stream. It's like lazy content, and it's really, if it wasn't H3H3, it will be someone else.
He is entitled to pursue it. My intention is to shed some light on the financial strain this is causing me and my family, and also why I made a settlement offer to Ethan.
So he already said no on the settlement offer, because we just showed you guys she tried to offer $17,000 when she rose probably over $50,000, because don't forget you're making money on Twitch and donations and gift subs, not even just from a GoFundMe. And it's insulting, because number one, Ethan Klein does not need money. Like the guy has money himself. And all be all. So you try to go offer him $17,000. If you're a multi-millionaire and someone wrongs you, and maybe put that perspective on that, or let's go and say you have an old best friend who tried to ruin your business and they offered you $50, and you are just hurt. Like it's at the point, it's the principle, not the money, it's the principle. Now, if they were maybe like, hey, here's 50 grand, then you might be like, okay, cool. Like, hey, here's $1 million. I'm sorry, Ethan Klein. Sure, maybe, just for like, okay, fine. But you can tell that she just didn't give the full amount. And that's what Ethan Klein was calling her out about. Like, and I think that's a pretty valid critique. Like, hey, you rose all this money from your community and you are just not offering it fully. Like, that's horrible. So going back to the legal thing, she's trying to become a victim of this all.
So when this lawsuit began, it was unclear how myself and my family were going to survive this.
Which I do have some sympathy for.
It is only due to the unbelievable generosity of others that I have been able to afford the devastating financial effects of this lawsuit. I will forever be grateful for the kindness.
Like, she's just clearly reading this, which I mean, she's just being thankful, so I can't be too harsh on this, but
and support that I've received during this dark time in my life. We have raised just over $49,000 on my GoFundMe. I have also contributed another $5,000 from various marathons and fundraising, bringing the total up to $50,000.
It's like I contributed, but she's like working as a streamer. Your community still did it, but when, I mean, I'm just being picky, but whatever.
All of these funds were deposited into a separate bank account that I opened exclusively for legal expenses. None of these funds have been used.
So it's kind of like, I don't even want to hear it because she just explain all this type of stuff. But basically, there's the whole idea that she wants to support her family and she might not make enough money from her normal job. So she wants to get out of the legal fees because she can't fully support it, which I understand and like I actually do sympathize on. But as I showed you guys with the whole Asmongold situation, where she's been nonstop harassing people everywhere, whether it's for clout, attention, viewership, trying to get that like kind of grift on the opposite side to get people in, or as well harassing H3H3. Because you can see on like this is like the big lawsuit of it all. And it just is embarrassing because it doesn't seem like they're genuinely trying to take accountability even still. A lot of these comments from people, even in these like Reddit threads and such, are like, hey, we just don't care. Like, I care like a little bit for her as a person, I guess, but I don't care about the situation. Like, you literally did something illegal and you all the follow-up was to kind of fight fire with fire. That's not what you do. Like, that's not how you really win these things. So those of us who are actually poor out here working real jobs and not just smoking weed on stream and counting on donations from people. Her GoFundMe alone has raised more money than I make in a year. She can go cry somewhere else. And everyone's like, girl, you got your own struggles, you got your own issues. Like, you literally put yourself in this position too as well. And she's acting like a savior trying to provide for everyone. And there was even like a tweet too that they showed her like sister trying to be like, oh, my sister's life is in ruins. I mean, you can kind of look through this too, not to like expose income or whatever. But if you look at, say, like Kaceytron, she was making good money. And this is on the Twitch earnings leaderboard. She was at 953, and this was a few years ago still, but she was making like 100K a year, excluding donations or sponsors or YouTube revenue. Now, I feel like it's always fair. I feel like I always have to show myself if I was also throwing myself on in here. I think my number looks slightly nicer, but I've always been a smaller content creator. But I mean, whatever. If I got exposed, like, you know, hers, I can expose mine from a few years ago. But that's how I think it always should be. But anyway, like, you're making okay money, but you're just throwing all your money away now at legal costs because you just messed around. And like I said, we've seen this nonstop harassment from all these comments and tweets and everything they have to as well. It's just a lot, you know, it just really is. There are so many mean comments throughout these all, let alone what else she's also brought up to for H3H3 and other content creators. So she is just mean. She's a mean person who was just harassing everyone. And I think online you were allowed to have a little banter back and forth. It's not always should be, but it just was too much. And she was just like, she went lazy. I think she is like living in a whole own la la land. Like, you can't just be watching movies on Twitch. It's illegal. And even if it's not H3H3 or an Asmongold, like, a big company might call you out for it. It's bad. And the whole victim, like, just, it's so much worse. There's been so many tweets of them trying to make themselves seem like they didn't mess up. Now, I understand it's a weird situation, and I understand asking your own community for money. There's nothing wrong with that. But just the fact that they're trying to go get informed sympathy so much, and people are just getting sick of it. Because at the end of the day, they still messed up. And even here's like 5 months ago. Longtime Kaceytron fan here. I can say without a doubt her financial problems are 100% a consequence of her being bad with her own money. She's been in a blessed position to be making 6 figures from lazy reaction content and then just going and popping weed and having just all these weird comedy stuff over here, you know? Like, and also once again showing that Kaceytron just didn't care about people like Asmongold when his mom passed away. Like, the one thing you should probably not like poke the beehive on. Other stuff you can find so much more for Asmongold, but that was just me. But then so many people out here are just complaining and critiquing out here that she's just farming and begging for sympathy. And I do have to say, I kind of agree. So she even has TikTok saying, Ethan tried to sue me and ruin my life. It's going against all these pro-Palestinian voices. And it just is a weird, I don't want to make it about that situation because it really isn't. And saying you sat there and reacted more than you spoke, reacting to a video, literally freebooting all of his content. Then you literally play content of others while you literally sleep. If it wasn't Ethan, you've still been sued by someone else. Saying that's not true. I gave my own input on Ethan's smears towards my friends multiple times. Of course, the video that Ethan put out isn't going to show that through it because he's trying to create a narrative that suits him. Now, like I said, this is why you go into court and you can have discovery and see, but I thought all of this was worth making a video on because it seems like it hit the breaking point where Kaceytron is just, people are over it and they're sick of it and they're ready to move on. So that's about my take on it. I think Kaceytron, you need to actually give a proper apology, see if you can sell us out of court, and if not, it doesn't seem like your court case is good because you have a long history of freebooting content, acting like a victim, and it does suck. Like, I hope your family goes okay and like I hope your life goes all right, but this is the consequences of your actions, and that's why people are kind of over it because, yeah. Like, if you can go and sit and smoke a doobie and enjoy some, like, house or whatever and make 6 figures doing it, yeah, I'm jealous myself. But that's just me, my opinions and thoughts. I would love to hear your thoughts down below, and I appreciate you all so much for watching here in the first place.